Did you hear the story of what happened to Sam Brownback, by the way, in Kansas? He of the one of the Reaganistas, and he became governor of Kansas, where the Koch brothers live, and he said, and there was a fairly high state income tax that presumably the Koch brothers had to pay, and he said, and of course they're not the only rich people in Kansas, and he said, let's cut the taxes on the billionaires and the billionaires. Let's do away with them altogether. Taxes on pass through taxes on income that's passed through a corporation, through a sub S corporation, taxes on capital gain. Let's just do away with it. Hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks. And now the state is like in this $400 million hole because all that happened was rich people didn't have to pay taxes anymore, and Kansas all of a sudden didn't have a budget to run its country or its state. And so what's Brownback doing now? Is he going to raise the taxes on the billionaires again? No. He's a Republican. Republicans officially represent the billionaires. No, instead, what Brownback is doing is he's cutting funding for schools. Honest to God. Tax cuts for the rich, screw the poor people, the kids, anybody in need, to hell with them. So this waitress, her name is Chloe, or Chloe, I'm not sure how it's, C-H-L-O-E, H-O-U-G-H. It was her last day in Topeka in this restaurant. It's called Boss Hogg's Barbecue. She had already quit or given notice or whatever. It was her last day at work. So she didn't get fired over this, although I'm sure she probably would have had it, it's Kansas. So, Sam Brownback comes in and he buys lunch or dinner or whatever it was. And when she brings him his check, and she took a camera picture of this, scratched out credit card numbers and stuff, and put it up on the web. You can see it. When she brought him his check, she put an X through the thing where it says tip so that he could not give her a tip. And then wrote next to it, "Please tip our schools." Or she tip the schools was what she wrote. She later said, "I just knew I had to say something or I would regret it." But here's the real numbers. I mean, Sam Brownback giving tax breaks to billionaires. Here's what it costs us every year. The billionaire and multimillionaire class in the United States makes off with $2.2 trillion a year in tax breaks that are not available to average working people. They're not available to you or me. They're only available to very, very rich people who live on stock dividends and investment income or Wall Street banksters. And in fact, this is pretty amazing. The 14 richest people in the United States made more on their investments. And keep in mind, investment income is taxed at a different rate than income from work. It used to be a maximum 15% was the capital gains tax. I think it might be 20% now, but it's still, the maximum income tax rate for if you earn over $300,000 or thereabouts is now 39%, if my memory serves me right. But it's a maximum of 15 or 20% if you're doing capital gains. The 14 richest people in the United States made more money than about $80 billion last year than we spent providing food for people in need of food. 14 richest individuals made more from their investments last year than the $80 billion provided for people in need of food. And these rich folks, they just want more of their entitlements.